bombshell regarding disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. This morning, Axios obtained a memo from the DOJ that concludes Epstein did not have a client list and that he died by suicide.
The agencies also say they found no evidence that Epstein blackmailed powerful people. The memo indicates that the Trump administration will release video proof showing that nobody entered the area where Epstein was held on the night he died.
Back in May, both Patel and Bongino said on Fox News they did believe that Epstein killed himself. Now, many on X and on Blue Sky are pointing to a Fox interview from February with Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Users are saying the video shows an apparent contradiction with the newly released findings. Let's watch.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
Liberal news outlet Midas Touch wrote on Blue Sky, the Epstein list went from sitting on Pam Bondi's desk right now to there is no list in just a few months.
Comedian and podcaster Dave Smith wrote on X, the Trump administration is lying about Epstein. Everyone knows it. Pay attention to who will admit that and who will run cover.
The memo indicates that there will be no more disclosures about the Epstein case as the agency says it's not warranted. The memo reads, through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography.
This is outrageous, given what they have said previously. Yeah, here's the government. Oh, yes, we cannot see. There's no Epstein client list.
Right.
Look, so there's two possibilities here, neither of which are very good. One is that there's no client list. There's truly no damning involvement of anyone else. It's just that him and Ghislaine Maxwell were just sexually abusing people, and it was just the two of them doing it, even though he recorded everything that went on in his residence, and he extensively traveled and catered to and inculcated relationships with powerful and wealthy people from both political parties and from every aspects of finance and education and elite circles, and that was just all for no reason whatsoever. He just liked being friends with Bill Gates and others. Right. Okay. And there was nothing to it. Okay, fine. That's one possibility. So now that would still be totally contrary to what Pam Bondi and what everyone else has said all along, including in the administration. So shame on them if that's the case, because then they misled their own supporters and they clout chased and they were dishonest and they were liars. It's contemptible what they've done. The other case is actually the other situation is more nefarious, which is that. No, there is something to Epstein's connections to everyone, and it is being kept secret for some kind of perhaps national security justification. This is just a rumor, and I don't like to spread conspiracy theories, but I have heard it wondered very openly whether he is an intelligence asset. He provided information on powerful people to our government or the Israeli government or someone else. Given how aggressively they're shutting the book on this and saying, nope, nothing there, that's all.
Yeah.
It's going to make the possibility of that, raise the specter of that being the reason, is how I would cautiously say that.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is obviously going to stoke massive public suspicion for quite understandable reasons. Yes. I mean, let's start off with the fact that Jeffrey Epstein very obviously and ostentatiously cultivated friendships with extremely wealthy and extremely powerful people. Then he was assaulting and abusing very young women on a massive scale. It seems just hard to credibly argue that he himself never, as it were, connected those two things together, as in, I could use this influence or my friendships with the powerful to inure myself to some extent from the repercussions of his behavior in this respect. So in that sense, it's very, very suspicious. I also think a lot of people will have questions about the semantics of all of this. Like, whenever we talk about a client list, do people really, like, is the argument that there isn't one, that there is no document in his possession saying, here is my client list, A to Z, you know, that presumably isn't
These
there.
are the girls I
Yeah.
specifically trafficked to them on this date. Yes,
Exactly.
It is plausible that document does not exist.
Right.
But they have so many and tons of files that were released. Also, it's worth pointing out it could be that people in who should have known or done more to thwart Epstein or to bring him to justice much earlier are now trying to protect themselves, including Pam Bondi, who was the Attorney General of Florida for a relevant portion of time, I believe 2010 through the end of the decade, where Epstein was undergoing certain legal matters related to his prosecution and other things, so that maybe they just want to, I guess that's a middle ground nefariousness or just corruption. They think it'll be embarrassing if they release more information about this. On the suicide thing specifically, I personally have always found it plausible that he did in fact kill himself. They're saying there's security footage that nobody else entered. I know prisons are neglectful places, and the usual objections I hear to that, well, how could you think that, Robby? How could it be the case that the cameras aren't working in the jail or that they left him alone for that long? Like, you don't know prison very well if you think that's unreasonable.
Right.
The cameras are never working. People die in prison all the time from medical conditions when they should be given treatment because nobody cares. Right. It's not that some lowly, underpaid security guards, went off for a smoke break for an extended period of time when they were supposed to be watching him. That is actually very plausible. So I am perfectly willing to believe he did kill himself, and also he has nothing to live for at that point. He's
disgraced.
It's over for
apart.
him. He's gonna go. It's plausible to me that he would do that.
Yeah.
That there's no more information on people who were involved in what he was doing. That begins to strain credulity itself.
Yeah. I mean, the suicide thing I think is plausible either way. I mean, I am critical of lots of things that I consider conspiracy theories. I think with Epstein, it is so shady and it just smells to high heaven in so many different ways that there are legitimate grounds to be skeptical of it. Now, it may well be, excuse me, that the evidence is quite clear that he did kill himself, and I think, as you say, that is plausible, but it is the other part that is much more sketchy.
Indeed. Next up on Rising is President Obama trolling President Trump. We will discuss.